I introduce myself. I'm Father Stephen. I'm the Catholic priest in East Preston, and I came across restorative justice about a year ago because, sequence of events, I was asleep in my bed, and at about 4 o'clock one October morning there was a noise off, somebody shouting. I didn't pay a lot of attention because people can shout and just seemed to be shouting. Went back to sleep, woke up in the morning, and then when I went over to the church, the window, one of the windows was smashed. Obviously somebody had put a brick or a stone through it, and very jagged edges of glass. And what perturbed me was that from the jagged edges of glass there was a trail of blood which went right round my house and out into the street and then along the street. So I thought, my goodness me, a window is a window, but is this chap terribly wounded? Is the chap alive? And anyway, one of my assistants, a deacon in our trade, he used to be in the police and he knew exactly what to do, so contacted the police and so on and so on and so on. Fast forward, the police followed everything up beautifully and so on. But then they explained to us, when they'd identified who the person was, that we might like to follow the path of what they called restorative justice. Now, as I indicated, I knew very little about this, but they explained to me what it was. And so this restorative justice seemed to me, using different language, to be something that I was very familiar with and pretty in favour of. Moving forward seems to be an admirable thing to do. So Deacon Tony and I said, yes, absolutely, we're most interested in this. And so earlier this year, we actually had the, I'll call it the pleasure, it was a pleasure, of meeting the person who had smashed the window. And there he was with his girlfriend, and she was expecting a baby, and they must have had the baby by now. And we met in a neutral place in Littlehampton, and so the two restorative justice officials. And I think it'd be fair to say that at the beginning, the person in question was a bit nervous, understandably, but I was at pains to say to him, look, we very much want to enable you to move forward. It's not a question of people whitewashing the past and saying, well, this didn't happen. You say, okay, that happened, fine, but that's yesterday, let's park that, and let's see how we can help forward movement. And we explained to him that on the night we were marginally upset about the window, but we were majorly concerned about his health. And I said to him, thank goodness you're alive and well and that we're seeing you now, and you know how lovely that you and your girlfriend are expecting a baby and this, that and the other. And in the course of that interview, which I suppose lasted 15, 20, 25 minutes, something like that, it was wonderful because you could see his whole body language change and a feeling of huge relief. I'm sure he'd come into it expecting us to be cross and to be judgmental and to be demanding this, that and the other. He incidentally had already made an offer to pay something towards the cost of the window. But it wasn't about the cost of the window, it didn't concern me at all. It was about allowing this person who realised he'd done something which he regretted, allowing him to park that and just to move forward. So, you know, I was really won over, and so was Deacon Tony, to the whole restorative justice process. And for Deacon Tony, who in a previous incarnation was himself a police officer, I think it was real eye-opener, but a very happy eye-opener. So I have become a great fan of this. As I say, so much common ground between restorative justice, the approach of that, and what I, in my priestly ministry, try to do for people to help them to move forward from something which they regret.